When we talk about intelligence in women, we often picture degrees, titles, or accolades on a wall. But true intelligence, real embodied wisdom, goes so much deeper. It is lived, it is practiced, it shows up in the way a woman carries herself, in the choices she makes, and in the love she extends both to herself and others. The first habit of a highly intelligent woman is choosing curiosity over perfection. Perfection is a cage. Curiosity is a door. Intelligent women know that it's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the most willing to learn. They ask questions. They sit in the tension of not knowing. They are brave enough to say, "Teach me." And that humility becomes their superpower. The second habit is building strong, unapologetic boundaries. There is a quiet brilliance in knowing where you end and where others begin. Intelligent women do not confuse kindness with self-erasure. They understand that saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. It's saying yes to the things that matter most. Boundaries don't make them less loving. They make their love more sustainable. The third habit is choosing vulnerability as a form of strength. The world often tells women to be flawless, untouchable, unbreakable, but intelligent women know that real connection doesn't come from the mask, it comes from the cracks. They aren't afraid to say, "I don't have it all figured out," because they understand that when we allow ourselves to be seen fully, mess and all, we give permission for others to do the same. The fourth habit is resilience rooted in self-compassion. Setbacks don't define them. Failures don't shatter them, because they know how to speak gently to themselves in the aftermath of disappointment. Instead of self-criticism, they practice self-kindness. Instead of shame, they choose growth. This is how they rise again and again, not harder, not colder, but wiser. So when we think about the habits of highly intelligent women, let us remember this. It's not about being perfect or always right or endlessly strong. It's about choosing curiosity, honoring boundaries, daring to be vulnerable, and treating yourself with the compassion you so freely give to others. Because intelligence at its core is not just about what you know. It's about how you live. So many of us grow up with the weight of perfection on our shoulders. From the time we're little girls, we're taught that the world claps loudest when we get it right, when we ace the test, when we look polished, when we never stumble. The lesson is subtle, but it runs deep. Don't mess up, don't disappoint, don't fall short. And over time, that pressure doesn't inspire us, it suffocates us. Perfection becomes a performance, and we're the exhausted actors. But highly intelligent women have learned to trade that heavy armor for something far more life-giving: curiosity. Instead of obsessing over how flawless they appear, they stay open to what they can discover. They understand that the smartest people in the room are rarely the ones who talk the loudest or have all the answers. It's the ones who are brave enough to ask, "What if?" Curiosity is risky. It requires the humility to admit you don't know everything, and that for many feels like weakness. But here's the paradox. The moment you embrace not knowing is the moment you step into true growth. Intelligent women are willing to look a little foolish because they know that in the long run, the reward of learning is greater than the safety of appearing flawless. Think about how different our world feels when we stop aiming to be perfect and start daring to be curious. Perfection keeps us on the same path, repeating, polishing, rehearsing, holding tightly to what is safe. Curiosity invites us to explore a new road, to turn a corner we've never walked down, to ask a question that might change the whole conversation. One way keeps us stuck, the other way keeps us alive. There's a deep courage in choosing curiosity, because curiosity doesn't guarantee applause. In fact, sometimes it invites criticism. People may roll their eyes when you ask too many questions. They may label you difficult when you challenge the status quo. But highly intelligent women understand that this friction is not failure. It's evidence of growth. They're not afraid to sit in the discomfort of uncertainty because they know that's where wisdom is born. And here's the quiet truth. Perfection never gave us connection. Think of the last time you felt close to someone. Was it because they impressed you with how flawless they were? Or was it because they let you into their wonder, their messy questions, their honest searching? Curiosity connects us because it is an invitation. It says, come explore this with me. Let's learn together. When a woman leads with curiosity, she also redefines what success looks like. No longer is it about the pristine outcome. It's about the courage to try, the willingness to learn, the ability to adapt. Failure loses its sting because failure is simply a step on the path of discovery. Intelligent women don't crumble under mistakes. They gather them, study them, and let them become stepping stones. This shift from perfection to curiosity changes how they see themselves. Perfection whispers, "You're only as good as your last achievement." Curiosity whispers, "You are worthy because you are growing." One voice keeps us trapped in fear. The other frees us into possibility. The truth is, a woman who chooses curiosity over perfection is unstoppable. She isn't waiting for permission. She isn't waiting until she has all the answers or until every detail is polished. She's willing to start, to ask, to learn. And in doing so, she inspires everyone around her to lay down their own masks of perfection and join her in the freedom of growth. Because in the end, it's not the perfectly rehearsed life that changes the world. It's the curious life, the one full of questions, experiments, failures, and small discoveries that expands what's possible for all of us. For so many women, the word boundaries carries a sting. We've been told directly and indirectly that to be good, we must be available, agreeable, and accommodating. We're praised for saying yes, admired for stretching ourselves thin, and applauded when we meet everyone's needs but our own. The danger, though, is that without boundaries, our lives become an endless list of obligations. We're left exhausted, resentful, and quietly disappearing from our own story. Highly intelligent women know that boundaries are not walls built out of coldness or selfishness. They are bridges that protect connection and preserve love. They are acts of clarity, not cruelty. When a woman says, "This is what I can give and this is what I cannot," she is not pushing people away. She's ensuring that what she does give is genuine, sustainable, and rooted in truth. Boundaries are a radical act of self-respect. They say, my needs matter too. My energy is not infinite. My time is valuable. And here's the profound thing. Intelligent women understand that when they honor their own worth, they also give others permission to do the same. It creates a ripple effect. Suddenly, relationships shift from silent expectations and hidden resentments to honesty and mutual respect. But let's be clear, setting boundaries is not easy. It takes courage to disappoint someone in the short term to protect yourself in the long term. It takes strength to say no when you've been conditioned to believe that your worth is tied to your yes. And it takes wisdom to know that no is not rejection, it's redirection. Intelligent women carry this wisdom. They've learned that every time they say yes to something that drains them, they're saying no to something that could nourish them. Think of boundaries as the roots of a tree. Without them, the tree is unstable, easily uprooted, swaying with every gust of wind. But with strong roots, clear limits, a deep sense of self, the tree can bend without breaking. It can provide shade, fruit, and beauty, but only because it is anchored. Boundaries are those roots. They anchor intelligent women in their values, their priorities, and their truth. And here's the paradox. Boundaries don't make women less loving. They make their love more authentic. When you're running on empty, your yes is often laced with resentment. Your giving becomes performative, transactional, or simply draining. But when you protect your energy, your yes comes from a place of fullness. You give not because you feel you must, but because you truly want to. That is where love thrives, in freedom, not obligation. Highly intelligent women also understand that boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about managing themselves. You can't make someone respect you, but you can choose what you will and will not allow. You can't stop someone from crossing the line, but you can decide where you'll stand when they do. This quiet self-control is a hallmark of intelligence. It shifts the focus from changing others to protecting your own peace. Of course, boundaries come with risk. People who benefited from your lack of them may resist, criticize, or even withdraw, and that's painful. But intelligent women recognize that losing someone who only valued them for their compliance is not truly a loss, it's clarity. Boundaries act as a filter, revealing who is drawn to the real you and who only stayed for the version of you that served their needs. So when a highly intelligent woman says, no, I can't take that on right now, or I'm not available for that conversation, she isn't closing a door, she's opening a healthier one. She's showing up with integrity, protecting her peace, and ensuring that when she does show up for people, she is fully present, not fractured. Boundaries, then, are not about selfishness. They are about sustainability. They are not about pushing people away, but about keeping relationships honest. They are not about shutting down love, but about making love possible. The intelligent woman knows this truth. Deep in her bones, the most loving thing she can do for others is to first honor herself. And the way she honors herself quietly, unapologetically, bravely, is by building boundaries that turn her life into sacred ground. We live in a world that often mistakes vulnerability for weakness. From an early age, women are taught to keep it together, to smile even when it hurts, to show competence, not cracks. Strength has been defined as holding it all in, appearing unshaken, unbothered, untouchable. But highly intelligent women know that this definition is a lie. They've learned that true strength doesn't come from hiding. It comes from being seen. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is power. To be vulnerable means to stand in your truth without guarantees. It means showing your heart, your hopes, your doubts, your failures, even when you cannot predict the outcome. And that is terrifying. Because when you allow yourself to be seen, you open yourself to judgment, rejection, even heartbreak. Yet, paradoxically, that same openness is the birthplace of connection, courage, and authenticity. Intelligent women choose it anyway. They understand that perfection is a mask, and masks may win admiration, but they never build intimacy. People don't fall in love with the curated version of you, the flawless resume, or the polished smile. They fall in love with your laughter when it surprises you, your honesty when you admit you're scared, your courage when you show up messy but real. Intelligent women lean into that truth. They stop performing. They stop pretending. They choose to be seen as they are, not as the world expects them to be. And here's the gift of their vulnerability. It gives others permission to be real too. When an intelligent woman says, "I don't have all the answers," she opens the door for someone else to exhale and admit, "Me neither." When she shares a story of failure, she breaks the illusion that everyone else has it figured out. When she lets her tears be visible, she creates space for others to embrace their own. Vulnerability, then, is not just a personal act, it's a communal gift. But make no mistake, choosing vulnerability requires immense courage. It's far easier to hide behind certainty, to armor up with sarcasm, to build walls out of accomplishment or appearance. Intelligent women don't pretend it's easy. They know how much it hurts to put yourself out there and be met with silence or criticism. But they also know the alternative, a life lived behind glass walls, untouched but unfulfilled, and they refuse that life. Vulnerability is also where creativity and innovation are born. To create, you must risk. To dream, you must step into the unknown. To love, you must allow the possibility of loss. Intelligent women know that without vulnerability, you cannot grow. They don't confuse safety with fulfillment. Instead, they embrace the trembling, the uncertainty, the risk, because they know that is where the magic happens. And perhaps the most profound truth about vulnerability is that it reshapes our relationship with power itself. In traditional thinking, power is about control, controlling outcomes, controlling emotions, controlling how others see us. But intelligent women redefine power. For them, power is rooted in truth, in the courage to show up without guarantees, in the freedom to be fully human. Vulnerability strips away the performance and leaves only authenticity, and that is the kind of power no one can take away. So when a highly intelligent woman speaks her truth, admits her fears, or shares her story, she is not showing weakness. She is showing extraordinary strength. She is modeling a kind of bravery the world desperately needs, the bravery to be real. Because in the end, it's not the untouchable women who change the world. It's the women who dare to be touched. It's not the flawless ones who inspire us. It's the ones who show up flawed but wholehearted. Vulnerability is the language of connection, the birthplace of courage, and the purest form of power. Life has a way of humbling us. No matter how careful we are, no matter how much we plan, setbacks are inevitable. Dreams fall apart, relationships break, careers stumble. And in those moments, it's not intelligence in the traditional sense, grades, credentials, or clever words that carries a woman forward. It's resilience, the ability to rise after falling, to begin again after failing, to hold on to hope when everything feels lost. But here's the truth that highly intelligent women know. Resilience is not about being unbreakable. It's about learning how to mend, and the glue that holds the pieces together is self-compassion. So often women are taught to be their own harshest critics. We believe that if we punish ourselves enough, we'll improve. If we push harder, demand more, and withhold kindness, we'll finally reach some imagined ideal. But in reality, that relentless inner critic doesn't build strength. It erodes it. Intelligent women know that berating themselves doesn't prepare them for the future. It only drains the energy needed to face it. That's why they choose a different path. They rise not through shame, but through gentleness. They rebuild not through cruelty, but through compassion. Self-compassion is the quiet, steady voice that says, yes, you failed, but you are not a failure. Yes, you're hurting, but you are not broken beyond repair. It is the reminder that worthiness is not tied to success and dignity is not erased by mistakes. For highly intelligent women, this inner kindness is not weakness, it is strategy. It is the fuel that keeps them moving forward when the road is long and the weight is heavy. Think about it. When a friend stumbles, you don't say you're worthless, you should have known better. You extend a hand, you offer patience, encouragement, love. Intelligent women have learned to extend that same grace to themselves. They practice speaking to themselves as they would to someone they care about deeply. That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. It transforms failure from a dead end into a detour. It transforms disappointment from shame into learning. Resilience, then, is not about bouncing back as if nothing happened. It's about allowing yourself to feel the loss, the grief, the frustration, and still choosing to move forward. Intelligent women don't pretend pain doesn't hurt. They let themselves feel it, but they don't let it define them. They take time to rest, to heal, to breathe, and then they begin again. Self-compassion is what allows them to rise softer, not harder, wiser, not colder. And here's the paradox. The more self-compassion you practice, the braver you become. When you know that failure will not lead to self-destruction, you take more risks. When you trust that you'll be kind to yourself no matter the outcome, you open yourself to new possibilities. Intelligent women lean into this freedom. They dare to love, to create, to speak, to try, because they know that even if it doesn't work out, they'll still be standing. Not because they never fall, but because they never abandon themselves when they do. This kind of resilience isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, persistent. It's choosing to get out of bed after a night of tears. It's sending the application after a rejection. It's having the courage to say, I will not give up on myself. Over time, that quiet persistence builds a life of incredible strength. So when we talk about resilience in highly intelligent women, let's stop imagining perfection or unshakable toughness. Let's instead see the profound wisdom of self-compassion. Because the women who rise again and again are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who know how to treat themselves with enough gentleness to stand back up. Resilience through self-compassion is the habit that allows intelligent women not only to survive the storms of life, but to emerge from them with deeper wisdom, softer hearts, and an unshakable belief in their own worth.